Alright, so I figured I should probably post a video and let y'all know I'm still alive. And, well, I'm still alive. But, yeah, I just, been busy. Been working on the Durango. That's going to be its own individual series. You guys will see that as soon as I actually get enough of the series done to post anything. But there's just nothing going on right now. Waiting on parts and such, but I got other stuff going on first, and there's a whole lot of stuff going on that wouldn't fit in one video anyway, or make sense if it did. So that's what's going on. And plus, I have a wisdom tooth coming in, and oh my god, it hurts. But what we're doing here is bringing some buckets over to my dad's house. That should lock it in. Yep, cool. Because, well, as you notice, this ain't my truck. It's my dad's truck. My dad has my truck. My dad has my truck. Because, my truck's getting hot. It's only really getting hot when I'm idling, like sitting at the school pickup line. The problem with that is I sit in the school pickup line twice a week for an hour each day. So that's a problem when it's 100 degrees outside, or 110, or, you know, hot. And I can't really turn the truck off so the truck doesn't overheat, because then I overheat, and it's just the whole thing. Oh, of course you went all the way up there. Have you ever wondered why, like my dad's truck, it's a 4th gen Ram 2500, so 3/4 ton truck, and you ever wondered why these newer 3/4 and 1 ton trucks are way bigger than their 1/2 ton counterparts? I did. I rephrase that. In comparison to like the 90s and early 2000s and such, where everything looked identical except for the badging. It's because, and we'll use like 90 trucks for example, it's because of the EPA. So the EPA allows vehicle manufacturers to have their vehicles produce a certain amount of emissions or carbon deposits or something. EPA emissions is all it is. So the bigger the vehicle, the more emissions it can produce. So that's why you see, like, for Dodges, for example, since that's what I'm driving, that's why you see like the 1/2 ton Dodges with the 5.7 Hemi. I know they don't have those on the new ones, but with the 5.7 Hemi be the size it is, but then you step up into the, you know, a 3/4 ton truck, and the smallest motor you can get is the 6.4 Hemi, or you can get it with the 6.7 Cummins turbo diesel. Well, one of those two motors, likely the Hemi, is putting out more emissions than the 5.7 was. So they had to make the truck bigger. That's all it is. Like, and that's why you see the generally the 3/4 ton and the 1 tons are the same size. Those look identical, other than the axles if it's a dually. Appearance wise, is because they have the same motor in them. The only difference in those trucks is like sometimes the axles or like the suspension. So that's all it is. It's just emissions and such. I don't know when that started or when auto manufacturers became privy to it or whatever started to make that change, but that's why, like, you look at, you know, a 2nd gen Ram and you don't know if it's a 1/2 ton, 3/4, or 1 ton just by looking at it, unless it's got badges on it. And you can easily get a 1/2 ton Ram and throw 3/4 ton badges on it, and you'd never know the difference unless you actually knew what you were looking for. Kind of a neat little fact, I guess. Alright, well, perfect example of why you should take your camera with you everywhere is from yesterday's events. So, yesterday I went and dropped the boys off at school. Went and dropped my dad's truck off with him, picked up my truck again. And then I went down to the dealership at the Ford dealership down the street, which is the closest dealership to me. All the other ones are 15-20 minutes away, and I had to work yesterday, so I was trying to make it quick. Just want to see if they can get me the bolts that I need for this Durango. Thinking it's an American company, they should use the same bolt size and such, right? They were no help. So on my way home, this happens. Well, I also have no spare tire on the truck. I also don't have a jack on the truck. I don't have tire iron. Like, I don't have any repair tools on the truck. So, luckily, I got my spare on it. Not that it's looking very good. It's definitely seen better days and better years. But, yeah, so I had to call my dad. He came to get me. We came here to my house to get tools and my spare. He brought his jack, which is good because his jack works better. And we got it done. So I have a guy that I found on Facebook Marketplace. He's got a set of 4 tires for a Chevy, like wheels and tires for a Chevy. They're 17s, not 16s, that are like what's on the truck, which is fine because I want 17s anyway. Way easier to find tires for a 17. But he won't be available until Monday. Today is Friday. I also have a set of 4 tires in the backyard that are already 17s. Just, I've never used them. We found them on the side of the road for like big trash pickup. So those aren't really tires that I would like to trust. I want the wheels, don't care about the tires. Alright, I just wanted to update y'all on what we decided to do, or what I decided to do rather, as far as the tire situation on the Chevy. I was looking around at wheels and trying to figure out what we're going to do, and I came to the conclusion that I am going to use those wheels that I've got in the backyard. I went back out there and I looked at them, and they look alright. I don't see no big issues with them, no cracking or peeling, or tread's not terrible, especially compared to the stuff that I'm looking at buying used anyway. So I'm going to throw them on. Now them are 245, 70, 17s or something of the sort. On the truck now are 285, 75, 16s. So that's a bit smaller. I've been doing a little bit of research, and we're gonna lower it. And we're gonna do it on the cheap. So you can get a spindle kit from AutoZone. It is the exact same spindle kit I used to lift my brother's Durango and my Durango. I have my brother's box sitting right here with his old shackles in it still. Exact same kit. And then got some shocks, because in the back it's got lift shocks in it, and those need to be replaced anyway. So we got these guys. These are shocks off of a 1988 Chevrolet Caprice. All the four-wheel guys are saying that that's what they run when they lower their four-wheel drive truck. I'm gonna crank down the torsion keys as much as I feel that I can within reason, and see how much of a drop we get on it. All right, so I just took a measurement on the driver, or on the passenger side, from wheel defender, or from ground defender, We're at 38 inches. I'm gonna take a measurement on the rear when we do the rear as well. I'm gonna do as much as I can tonight without having to use power tools or air compressor, because it is 10:30. Amanda's sleeping, and I don't want to wake everybody up. My air compressor is loud. As much as I'd love to get those tires aired up and put on, 2 of them need to be reseated. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow, as much as that kills me, because I'd love to just have it all done tonight, because I think I could do it. But I'm trying to also not wake everybody up. So 38 inches there. I'm gonna go under there with the ratchet and start cranking some keys, see if we can get it down a few inches. Gotta say, really weird taking these guys off and replace them with something like that, but that's what we're doing. It's so strange to me being an off-roader. Alright, well, the new wheels and tires are on. I just took measurements, and I don't know what way was good for my face or without getting blown out. Hopefully this is good and you can see me. I took measurements. I took measurements in the rear before we did them. The rear was 36.5. Now we're 35.25. The front was, I don't remember exactly what it was just last night, just under 27, I believe. And now we're about 26.5. So we got about 1.25 inch drop out of the wheels. So I think it's time we focus on the front. Or I'm sorry, on the rear, because that's going to be the part that's going to take the longest. So I'm going to remove the wheel chocks, flip her around, and then work on the back when it's backed up. That way we can have a little bit more space and I'm not sitting right next to the road. That sounds nicer. Alright, so you had to take the hitch out. It's like 6 bolts, 3 on each side. Wasn't that big of a deal. It's gonna be a bitch to get back up, but I think I'm gonna clean this up. Look at all the crusties on here. My wiring's all destroyed and gross. So I think I'm gonna clean that up before I put it back on. I'm really in no rush to put it on, because I don't tow with this very often anyway. I don't tow often anyway, but I always like to have something capable of doing so. Anyway, so here's what it's been looking like, right? Doesn't look terrible. Stock height in the back. On the other side, probably kind of hard to tell, but it's sitting low. Now it's not done. Actually, the new shackle's not even in yet. This is just with the existing shackle undone from the truck. It's still up on the leaf spring, but you had to lift it up over the frame rail to get that bolt out anyway. And it's probably can't really tell. There you go. So that's what we're doing here. It's basically touching the truck. But I don't think the new one will give that much lift or that much drop. No, it won't. Okay, so that's a good thing. So I'll probably put it on the top bolt and see how the shackle orientates, because I don't want it jamming up into the bed of the truck either, because that's no good. Alright, well, it took forever because I was ran out of time this morning and I was working through my brakes and such, but I got the first side done. So, side's done here. I just took measurements. It's sitting from ground to the bottom of the fender just under 34 inches. Check the other side, from ground to the top of the bumper is just over 35. So I'm gonna say give me about 1.5 inch drop. Keep in mind these were at like 37, I believe, 37, 38 with the old tires on it, and before the drop kit for the shackles. So it's pretty good. Still gotta put the shocks on that side. I'm gonna do that next, because if those shocks don't work, can't really proceed. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw the shocks on real quick, and then we'll go over to the passenger side, and I'm just gonna throw that together really quick as well. We should be all done. Alright, well, this asphalt is killing, or concrete is killing my back. So I'm kind of skipping to the just sit back and admire it stage. Driver's side's done. I mean, once the whole rear end's done, I'll pull it down on level ground, remeasure both sides of the front, make sure those are even, and then adjust accordingly if not. They look pretty about even from what I've measured so far, but you know, we'll let the whole lift get, or the whole lowering kit rather, get on there and settle and figure that out. I can tell you right now, I think it's looking pretty good already. Quick tip for you guys, and I didn't have the issue when I did the driver's side, but it did do it on the passenger side. So just so you guys know, so essentially the way that this is going to work is you have a bolt here and a bolt up here to remove. You want to remove this one first because it will bring your shackle up high enough over this frame rail or that you can get something up there to get that nut out, or that bolt out. Now, on the passenger side, I can't show you because it's too dark right now, but I removed the lower one, and there's so much pressure on it, the moment it came out, it shot up here, and it actually dented my bed. Not like terrible, I really don't care because it's an old work truck, but make sure that like nothing is up here when you're doing that, including your hand, because you probably won't have one afterwards if you do that. So yeah, just a quick PSA and a quick tip there. Make sure your hands are clear when you pull that bolt out, because yeah, that was a little scary. Alright, so lift is in on the other side. Zachary is under there. He came over to help. I put him to work doing the shocks. Well, the shock, because I did the other one. Let me just show you guys something though. So this big long bastard is the one that came off of it. I think I've mentioned before that I bought the wrong shocks for this thing a while ago. Those are for like, it's for like a 6-inch lift. Okay, but this is the box that the new ones came in, and they weren't even fully compressed. So let me just show you here the difference in size we got. Alright, well that's how she's sitting, all done. The front end's got to come down an inch or two, but I can do that later. I'm gonna do that later when it sits level on the street and such. It's not it don't look bad. It looks level. The only thing is you notice that the wheel well gap is a little bit bigger on the front. It is 2 inches higher, but you don't notice it when it sits. Looks good. Drives okay. The rear shocks, I think I'm gonna get shock extenders for and mount them up to help reduce, or to give it some more travel, because those rear shocks are about maxed out. So yeah, like when I pulled it into the driveway, it was really rough. And driving around, it's okay for the most part. Every now and again you hit a big bump, it's pretty rough. So I'm gonna get some shock extenders to fix that problem. What do you guys think about the wheels? I think I should leave them, not paint them. I think it looks good, especially with like the chrome bumpers. I mean, let me know what y'all think. But I'm gonna go ahead and end it off there. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you in the next video.